Don't you think your pet deserves a special treat without all those ingredients you can't pronounce? Your pet deserves the best source of ingredients. I agree. That's why Hound House Treats is established to give your pet the best all-natural handcrafted treats packed with flavor. Try our chicken, turkey, and our pink salmon jerky. These products are 100% natural and USDA certified. It's prepared without no added hormones or steroids, no growth-promoting antibiotics, no artificial ingredients, flavors, or preservatives. Grain-free. Don't cheat your dog nutrients. Treat your dog to a healthy snack at www.houndhousetreats.
You are now tuned into 2111 Radio Show, hosted by our program director, Derek Scott.
Well, we here again. So tonight is a special night. This is my podcast. It's called Real Hip Hop Talk, but we're not talking hip hop tonight. We're actually talking about something really serious. It's about bullying, the mental health. It's a serious subject that a lot of people don't like to talk about, but we're going to get into it tonight. So my first guest, if you guys been watching my show, she actually the writer, producer, she does everything. She has this movie on Tubi right now. It's called Gerald's Hands. Let me tell y'all, it's a beautiful movie. If y'all didn't see it, y'all better catch it on there right now. But I'm gonna bring her in. Her name is Naz Pannkey. I call her Naz. We're gonna get the real name, but we call her Naz. Hi Naz, how you doing?
Oh my goodness, I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm really blessed. I'm so happy to have you here. Just give them a little background of what you do and who you are and all that.
Yeah, well, I'm Nadira Pannkey. I do go by Naz. I'm from the South Bronx, and I am a screenwriter. I'm a director. I am a producer. I'm the author of Evergreen and Rooted, which talks about my life growing up. Memoirs of a time when I grew up in the South Bronx, and I'm so excited to be here tonight and talk about bullying because I've had to endure it and overcome it throughout my life. And I've watched my son, who's autistic, go through it and endure it throughout his life. And he and I are very similar. And so it's time to start talking about it, and hopefully things will be better for the next generation, for this generation and the next. That's what it's about. I'm grateful.
Exactly. I really appreciate you coming through.
Yeah.
Because like I said, you could have been anywhere in the world right now, but you're here with us, and I appreciate it. I definitely do.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my next guest. Okay, he's an autism activist. Incredible gentleman. I'm telling y'all right now, his name is Marcus L. Boyd. We're going to get him in here right now. He can explain exactly everything this man do because he does everything. We're going to get him in here right now. Where you at, brother? My man. How you doing, man?
I am blessed. How you doing, legend?
I'm good. I'm trying to be as busy as you. I can't believe, man. Listen, you'll be doing your thing, brother. We're going to get into it, but let the people know who you are and what you do.
I am Marcus Leonardo Boyd. I am a 13-time award-winning music producer, composer. I've been a music producer for 24 years. I'm in 18 different genres of music. I am the first ever African American to have 7 awards as an autism activist. I have autism. I was nonverbal until I was almost 13 and a half. Started speaking at a 2-year-old's level, and I started speaking like this, like I do now, until I was almost 18. I have a clothing line, a shoe line, a coloring book, a short film. I'm about to have a comic book. It's a lot that I do. But I'm from Brooklyn.
No doubt. Brooklyn, stand up. Me too. Wow, that's crazy.
I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Atlantic and Rockaway, Blake's and Lennon.
Are you serious?
I'm from Brownsville. So
now, just for that, watch this. We're gonna give you a round of applause right now. Yes, sir. I'm definitely from Brooklyn. I used to live in Fort Greene, Farragut, Brownsville, Bed-Stuy. So it's a family affair. You know what I'm saying? She's from the Bronx. But
Yeah.
now it's a beautiful thing. I'm definitely happy to have you here, brother. We definitely going to get into your story. So my next guest is an incredible gentleman. I'm not even going to lie. He's my guy. He's my fan bam. That's our thing. He's my fan bam. When I have talks like this, when I have these serious conversations, I definitely like to invite my guy. So he's like a veteran to my show. His name is King Tech TV. We're gonna bring him in right now.
What's
Mr.
up,
Tech,
Bam
is you here?
Bam? Yes, sir. How you doing? Can you hear
I'm
me
good,
okay?
man.
I gotta
definitely
check the audio.
Yeah,
Is the audio all right?
yes, you sound great.
Okay. Awesome.
You
Awesome.
sound great.
Thank you for
So
having
let
me.
let the people know who you are, what you do. Talk to them.
I am King Tech TV. I do not have 6 award-winning producer. I'm a producer as well. I'm not quite as successful. Honor to meet you, sir. Honor to meet you. Yeah, music producer, MC, vocalist, everything you could think of, entertainer. I do a lot of stuff. Entrepreneur. I'm in the cannabis industry as well, so I wear many hats. But basically, I have an Instagram show where I interview legends, and it just parlayed into lots of other avenues. But that's what we got going on, called the King's Table, and we every Wednesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m.
Listen, I'm honored to have you here. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I said, you my go-to guy. I let people know now. This is my go-to
Appreciate
guy
you, brother.
when I need support on my show when it comes to different topics. But this is a definite big topic.
Oh yeah.
So Naz Pannkey came to my show a couple of weeks ago, and she exploded some information on my show. What I could say because it hit home, And when I was younger, I was bullied. You understand? And it's not a good feeling. So I can imagine how the young kids is feeling now in this day and age. I'm 56 years old. This is when I was like 7 or 8. And it went on until I got a little older when I was able to fight back. You understand? So it hit home to a point where I was bullied. I didn't want to go to school, different things. And I wasn't diagnosed autistic, but I was because I know young men that's been autistic, and the tests that they take, the IEPs, they didn't have IEPs back in my day. They didn't. They didn't. They called us retarded. You understand? And the understanding was he's slow, he's retarded, put him in another class. So I had different reading classes. They used to make me look at different photos and tell me what do I see, different shapes and sizes, whatever it was. And this was going on from, I say, first grade to like 3rd grade. You understand? And then back then, like I said, nobody knew what it was. So now that I look back, yes, because I couldn't read. It took me until I got to like the 7th grade when I was able to read, like really. So that means they were skipping me through school from the 1st grade all the way to the 7th grade. I did not know how to read. I didn't know nothing. I learned that on my own. You understand? So me now talking to you guys right now is a blessing because without me taking the time out to look around and try to figure things out myself, I wouldn't be here with y'all right now. You understand? So that's a testimony to my parents. They supported me when I was younger. God bless them. But this is a subject, it's a real touchy subject, and I want everybody to, tell this story. But Mr. Boyd, how you doing?
How you doing?
I would love for you to take the stage, you know what I'm saying, and let people know your testimony.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't have supportive parents. My mother had 22 kids. So, when you're in a household of 22 kids and one kid show differency, one kid is not catching the football, it's not throwing up the basketball, it's not swinging like every other kid. That kid is having emotional behaviors. That kid is rocking, slopping on himself, using the bathroom on himself. That kid is yelling. That kid is screaming. That kid is different than the 10 of his brothers and 9 of his sisters. So, my parents didn't raise me. My grandmother, and helped raise me, and then foster care took over. because she was elderly and stuff of that nature. So I come from a very horrific, abusive situation. So I think my first bully was my biological father. It wasn't the kids on the street. It was my first bully was my biological father.
Wow.
So he introduced me to what the kids on the streets introduced me to. Non-support, no love, violence, humiliation, embarrassment, being scared, afraid of him, the same way I was with the kids on the street. But there was a difference. Now, he was able to invoke fear in me so bad that I didn't want to be around them. But the kids on the street, again, I'm from Brooklyn, you understand what I'm saying? So they're gonna pick on you. They're gonna pick on you regardless. If you got on the new Jordans or you got on the Tommy Hilfiger shirt, and everybody asks, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, my big sister, Big Patty, she's like 6'8", 6'9", you know what I'm saying? Like she got big hands, you know what I'm saying? So like,
no doubt,
she was my armor, you know what I'm saying? My brothers were supposed to be my armor, but it was my 9 sisters that was taking them punches. You know what I'm saying? There was fighting guys for me. You understand what I'm saying? Like my brothers didn't do nothing. They was encouraging it. They was laughing, joking. Well, my sisters was taking up for me. Wow. You understand what I'm saying? So I come from the same era. Like I come from IEPs. I was in special education all my life. Like that was it. I was on Ritalin, Paxil, Depakote, Lithium, Seroquel, Zoloft. You know what I mean? 500 to 1,000 milligrams a day, 2 to 3 pills a day. That zombified my mind, because when I used to go to my doctor's appointments, they used to say, different doctors said that he has the left side of his brain doesn't function correctly. He'll never get an education. He'll never be on his own. He'll always have to have a caregiver. He would never do anything. We just need to institutionalize him. In which they did. Wow. They put me in 16 of them. We're talking about electrical shock therapy and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Because they forcing me to take pills, shooting me in my buttocks and everywhere else. You understand what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to do this stuff. So for me, bullying got introduced to me real early. I remember I was like 4 years old and I wanted to sit by my biological father, and he told my mom that I was too retarded to be his son. So she cheated on him with a retarded person. Excuse my language, but she cheated on him with a retarded person because I'm too retarded to be his son. So then he drugged me outside by my shirt. He got the gun out the truck and started pistol whipping me. And then he's with the gun in my mouth and tried to shoot me, but the gun kept jamming. And she on the porch watching this stuff. She didn't get off the porch when blood was coming out of my face and my nose. I'm 4.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? And he's like, I discussed him. He's spitting on me. So the neighbor come outside. The next door neighbor come outside to take the trash out. Got the whole bag of trash in his hand. He seen me getting pistol whipped, drop the bag, run over there, pushes Big Tommy off of me, start fighting him. You understand what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, I'm in a hospital, ribs broken, everything. But Tina is going to the jail. She's going down to the precinct to go get Big Tommy out.
Yep.
She's going to go get him out. She didn't even come to the hospital. You understand what I'm saying? So again, my first bully was my biological father. Before any cats on the street was making fun of me for the hand-me-down clothes I had on, for the little lunch I got, because the bread was a little stale, because I had pork in the can, whatever I had. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't comparative until my first bully. See, I had to learn how to be David with a Goliath. You know what I'm saying? My Goliath was my biological father.
Ooh, boy.
You understand what I'm saying? And what's currently is, and I'm 40. I just turned 40 January 31st. But I'm 40. So currently,
related.
Thank you. Big Tommy is doing 9 life sentences plus 20 years in the state of Georgia.
No doubt.
So since 2010, I've been putting $250 on his book every month. every month. Because at the end of the day, you got to spend what you beat. You got to spend my money. Ain't no point in me hating you.
That's
You got to
right.
spend this money.
That's
The same
right.
money that you come on, the same person you call retarded. The same person you ain't want nothing to do with. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
So you got to spend this money because ain't no other money coming in. So you can't pick and choose. You got to spend that $250 a month.
Yeah, that's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So success kills you more than revenge.
All day, all the time. All the time.
But
my
I'm
God.
gonna be quiet. Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something, all right? Let me tell you, people in the audience right now, everybody, and I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm holding back. I'm not even going to lie. That's one of the worst damn stories I've ever heard in my fucking life. And I'm going to tell you straight up. And I'm sitting here feeling for you as a man. You understand? And if I was there right now, I'd give you a fucking hug because that is hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now, that right there, I've never heard nothing like that in my life. And living in Brooklyn, I know exactly what you was going through because I used to live in Brooklyn. The kids, I mean, we go a lot. People in Brooklyn don't have no care in the world for young kids, especially if they see you different. You understand? And it's going around to the world. But I know for a fact because we're from Brooklyn. So I know this. And for your first bully to be your father, brother, and deep in my heart, I'm very sorry for that. But look at you now. Look at you now. Look at you now. I'm so proud of you, brother. Today is the first time I actually meeting him.
Yes.
Look at him now. You understand? That is crazy. Wow.
Yes.
Matter of fact, you know what? Thank you, Naz. You know what? I'm a little delayed on this. I ain't gonna lie. I don't care. But we're gonna give him a round of applause right now. God bless him. Woo. Wow. King Tech.
What's happening? That was heavy.
Listen, that was, man.
Now I think of it, and I absolutely don't mean any disrespect by this. I just think of things a little bit differently. What you experienced, I separate the two. There's bullying and then there's abuse. That, although he was a bully to you, absolutely, you experienced violence and abuse. And that is beyond just a bully. A bully, in my opinion, no doctor, no expert, a bully is more a verbal and it's dominance behavior. It is trying to overpower someone, not physically, but dominance behavior. What happened to you is physical, and that's violence, and that's a crime. That's different than bullying. Bullying's not a crime, but yet it can affect and impact somebody for the rest of their life. So bullying, I definitely went through bullying. It was just more along the lines of being in a small mountain community, the only not white person. I was really into hip hop. I loved hip hop. It just spoke to me. The rhythm, the rhythmic beats is what spoke to me. Then when I started to break down what they're saying in their rhymes, it just blew my mind how clever they were. And it was like a crossword puzzle, how they're putting these words together to tell a story creatively. So I really loved it. But yet I'm in a community where realistically it was like a hippie community. There wasn't a lot of hip hop fans around. So it's like being double outsided feeling, is you go to a friend's house and they're having cheeseburgers and pizza. And I invite a friend over. And just so you understand this, I didn't even feel like I'm half Korean, half German. Raised here, don't even speak Korean. I didn't really accept that side of my culture growing up. So it was like I was embarrassed to be that because I didn't see any of that. And that wasn't the cool thing around. So then when doing music and pursuing music, it just felt like I wasn't accepted into the community, which I love the most. I was also didn't fit into there either. Went to Korea. They think of me as a white boy. I come here. They think of me, I'm either Mexican or Korean. And I'm like, damn, where the hell are my people? Like, where the hell can I go where I feel like, there they are. You're a mixed, you're a half breed too. And it just felt always outside and not accepted, into where I became a father. I'm 42. When I became a father and seen, I did raise a nonverbal autistic little girl, and to build this bond between somebody that's nonverbal, but yet they can communicate everything through their eyes. I felt like I'm talking to her, and I was her voice. I became her spokesman when she's uncomfortable, didn't like a texture, an environment, a sound, whatever it may be. Then I became, the voice for her. Then I see that in my son, same type of thing. He has very small. I'm 5'8". His mom's 5 foot. He's a midget. He's never going to be tall. He's really small for his age. But I just found something, and it helped me later on. I felt like I learned it late, but what helped me and what I teach my kids, because bullying is like a dominance behavior. It's a game of winning and losing. The bully only wins, and it's easy for people to say this, but really, if you can implement this into children at a young age, it empowers them. It's a game of winning and losing. If the more you get upset at what they say, no matter what they say, the more you get upset, the more they win. The more you keep your cool, the more they lose. The more they lose, they don't want to play the game anymore, and they leave you alone. And it's a simple way to say that and put that. And that's why I say, for your scenario, why I'm differentiating bullying and violence, because no matter what you did there, you couldn't have sweet talked your father to stop doing those things. You couldn't have complimented him back to stop the mean behavior. So that's why I'm just saying that was very sorry to hear that, brother. And so I just teaching my kids basically that knowing that it is a game, and if they can understand it on that level, it's easier for them to find out, like, why do they hate me? Is it the way I dress? It's just a game to them. They want to win. They want you to lose. And if you could play that game back and empower them, then that's when a child solves it for themselves, that's when they get self-confidence, self-esteem, self-worth. You can only come from self, and they have to discover it themselves, in my opinion. Sorry, that was a long blabbering.
That's it. Listen, at this point, nothing that you're saying is blabbering. There's nothing you're saying is blabbering. We all have our stories. Yeah, we all have our stories, and again, this is something that I wanted to talk about. I really wanted to talk about it because it's like, what can we do as humans to get this get into a place where we can teach our kids, so people can start teaching their kids, because all this starts at home and in school. Because have y'all ever heard of a kid getting in trouble with the bully that's bothering him all day, but the teacher sent both of them to the dean? Now, the kid never got in trouble before, but now he's finally trying to defend himself. And instead of you taking that kid and leaving him in the class, you take him to the dean, where he will continue to mess with him. And then that kid gets in detention. So yes, it's the teachers too. And that's why I showed y'all that film today, because teachers, they're not teachers. They're aides. And they're not taught. And if they bullies as adults, they're going to bully. If they bullies as kids, they're going to bully as adults. And this is what's going on with this generation and our generation, and it's continuing. So, Naz, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing really
good. You started this, right? So we're going to let you talk, all right? Yes. We're going to let you talk to them. So just talk to us.
This is a great conversation that we're having here tonight, because I'm in my 40s as well, my mid-40s. And when I was a kid, I grew up in the South Bronx. I was never a violent person, but I had to become that. I had to fight even when I didn't want to. And bullying was happening then. Sometimes it gets to be so much you don't know what to do. I remember being just suicidal. My life was just so dark because, like Marcus, I was bullied, or, I went through abuse at home where I would get beat just for asking a question, how to really communicate until I was older as well. I didn't know how to talk to other kids. And I have to say that's one of the most frustrating things ever, to know what you want to say and you can't get the words out. And that happened for a good period of my life where I knew what I wanted to say. I just could not get the words out, you know.
Mhm.
And so I had to go through that in school. And the teachers saw what was going on. And I was never a bully. I was never a person who teased people or picked on anyone. The teachers saw what was going on.
Mhm.
People saw it, no one did anything, you know. And then my son, um, I watched him go through it, and it was hurtful. It's hurtful because really, what can you do? You can't make the kids be nice. You can go to the school and fight for the bullying to stop, but you cannot make the kids be nice. And that's, I believe, like you said, that it starts with awareness, because a lot of people, like you said, Derek, they don't know what autism is, especially back in our day. It,
Ah,
even my son was diagnosed with a learning disorder and
mhm.
all that kind of nonsense. And his IQ is very high, right? But he was diagnosed with a because people are still learning about autism. They don't know. And that's why people like you, like Marcus Boyd, like me, you know, like King Tech, and he has a daughter who's autistic. We have to educate and we have to bring
Right.
awareness. And I'm really excited about Gerald's Hands, and I'll tell you why. There are not many movies that bring awareness to autism. They have all
I like
kinds
that.
going on, you know, everything. And I don't knock anything that's out there, right? But there aren't any movies that bring awareness to autism, to bullying, to domestic violence, you know. And what does that look like for a person who has autism? That's not
Mhm.
grown up. That's not privileged. Let's just say that as well. They don't have access to a lot of the resources that, you know, wealthy people have. What does that look
Right.
like? And so I wanted to show that, and just to bring awareness, because the messaging and the whole moral of it is that we're all human beings and we all want to be accepted, and we all want to be accepted for who we are and loved and respected. And that's what it's really about. So I'm happy to do that because I know what it feels like. You know what it feels like. Marcus knows what it feels like. King, you know what it's the worst feeling to be in that position
Yeah.
where you have people laughing at you. You have people picking on
Yeah.
you, picking your book bag, putting you down, or to live in fear. Because I know with that. So I grew up in a household where drugs were involved, and I lived in
Mhm.
fear, you know, because who my mom is today is not who she was when I was growing up in the 80s during the crack epidemic, you know.
Oh,
So my stepfather was very, very, very abusive. You know, not only was I physically abused, but I was sexually abused as well, you know, and tossed aside. So when I hear Marcus's story, it hurts. I know what that's like. I know what that feels like to have the people who's supposed to protect
I
you
love you. Yeah.
and love you. You understand? Put you in harm's way, and then on top of that, it's like they kind of despise you for being who you are.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was just touched by Marcus's testimony. Um, and I want to say that he provided music, gave us music for Gerald's Hands. He's been so supportive, um,
Right.
you know, of the movie. And I'm so, so, so grateful. Um, we, autism is just, we have just, I feel like Marcus is a genius. My son is a genius. You know, we have you, Derek, genius. We have
Mhm.
special abilities, and we love and we feel like everybody else in the world.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we are all human beings, and that is the moral of it. We are all God's children and we are human beings, and we deserve to be treated with love and kindness. And I'm really happy. A lot of people say, oh, you know, that was kind of risky. I don't care what people say. We have to start to bring awareness. We have to start to talk
Yeah.
about it. I'm not going to tiptoe around Hollywood and what they feel people want to see. I don't care, because I know that Gerald's Hands may not be for everybody, and that's fine. what I know is God told me to write it and to do it, and I did it. And I'm happy because it's really touching people, because now I'm telling our stories because they matter as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Listen, wow. That was. Let me give you a round of applause too, guys.
Thank you.
Let me tell you, because your story touched me. That's why you're here. You understand?
Thank
The people that saw the show before, the reason I brought you here is because I definitely wanted to get into this. So again, the object of this is to talk about it, see what we can do as far as in our small community. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Because we all have different communities. We all live in communities. We all have friends. We all have people that has kids. You understand? So, and what's going on is like the kids copy off their parents a lot, or
Mm-hmm.
they copy off their brothers and sisters. They copy off of their friends. They mindful. They see things. So like
Mm-hmm.
the other day we was at a restaurant, and the gentleman came in. He was autistic, and these young people was over there, and they was pointing and laughing because he was different. He had a suit on, but it wasn't a regular suit. It was something that he wanted.
Wow.
You understand? What people don't understand, it doesn't matter how the suit looks. If that person is wearing it, that's what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So they sat there and then they laugh, and I'm hearing that, and I had to get up. I had to get up. Like, we can't do this. No. We gotta go. So the waiter was like, "What's going on?" I said, "Y'all, you hear them sitting here messing with this person? Like they're literally bullying him. He hears them.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? He hear them, and that has to do with the public as well. The public act like they don't see nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see nothing. Everything that's going around them, they don't see nothing unless it's on them. And
Yeah.
that's the problem. Back in the days when we was coming up, parents used to protect each other, kids in the street. They did. Like I said, I'm older than everybody on here. I'm 56,
Mm-hmm.
and when you did something wrong and when I was little, somebody told, "Oh, ain't you such and such son? You know what? You better stop, or I'm gonna go back there and tell her."
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a community. There's no more communities anymore, and it takes a village to raise kids.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going on? A lot of kids is not being raised. They're just popping out.
They raising
You understand?
themselves. They raising
And
themselves.
yeah.
When I grew up in the 80s in the Bronx, I didn't have that. People, because I grew up
Mm,
during the crack epidemic. It was so many people that were strung out. People's heart was hard towards it. I'd be outside with my sisters when we were young. I was like 8 years old. I had a sister that was 7. Another one that was 8. She was 4, and then 2. Okay, so we're babies out there,
hmm
baby
Yeah.
outside in the street by ourselves every day, 2
Mm,
or 5 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes my mom would go to she was on a methadone program. She had to go down to Manhattan every day to get it, and we
right.
park, and she would leave us in the park in Harlem all day long. I'm talking about 8 years old. I'm not talking about a 10, 11. I'm talking about 8, the oldest, me, 8, in
Mm,
the park all day from sunup to sundown. No food, no water, no parent. And by God's grace, we didn't get kidnapped, and there was no one to say, "Hey, are you okay? Do you need help?" Never, not once did that happen. Not
nope.
that happened for me. So it's like it's just different stories. You have some people that things that happen, and I learned how to I had a 3rd grade readings level when I was in my 30s. That's when I went to college. I
hmm
graduated, and like you, was passed through the educational system and could not read. Could not read.
Nope.
3rd grade reading. When I went to college, they said we have to put you in the lowest level of remedial reading.
hmm
We have to put you in the lowest level of remedial reading. So
Yeah.
instead of me going in and taking college classes, I couldn't do that because I had to learn to read first on a college level before I could
Yeah.
take college classes. And while I was
Exactly.
learning to read, the first book I read was Flowers for Algernon, which is the book that Gerald reads, right? And it's about
Yes, it is.
it's about a man, and he wants to be smart like a mouse. He wants to be smart like a mouse. So undergoes this experiment, and it makes him smart. And all the people who used to laugh and make fun of him, he's now smarter than them. And they don't like him anymore because now he makes them feel dumb because he's so smart. But eventually the surgery reverses itself, and he goes back to who he was, right? He's not smart anymore. And that was the first book that I read. And after I learned to read, I wrote my first book, Evergreen Uprooted, which happens to be a page turner. I've had men and women tell me that. And I became a writer, a person who couldn't read until my 30s. You know what I mean? So it's not, it's just about having the opportunity, I think, number one, when you're coming up, in the 5 boroughs, especially like a Brooklyn and the Bronx and everything, have that support that you need. You don't have anybody around to say, hey, you do this great, or Marcus is a genius. Look what he does. His music, phenomenal.
Yeah,
and
it is.
And he raps, and he's brilliant at that. And he has a beautiful eye for graphic and design, so many different things, and he's an activist. How many people that's autistic that go through what he went through and then come out and help other people and speak on their behalf? A person who couldn't talk until he was in his teens, and speaking on their behalf. So this is what we're doing right now. Is no longer be quiet, get in the background. Your stories aren't important. We tell them it anyway. And I'm grateful for Tubi, because what Tubi does is it allows independent filmmakers to make the movie they want to make without getting the green light from Hollywood. And Hollywood saying, we don't want to do that. No, there's no more. Now we can really tell our stories.
Yes.
That we told.
Yo, you're 100% right about
that. The book. We didn't just open up a book and say, oh, look, let me talk about this topic. No, we lived it. I lived it day and night. I know what it is to be hungry and pick up dirt and eat it. I lived it. Market, you lived it. You lived it. King Tech, you lived it. So it's not like, oh, we just coming on here and we read this book or we saw this on the news. We want to talk about it. No, we understand. It's a difference when you read it in a book. And it's different when you live it, because you have an understanding of what it feels like to be ostracized, what it feels like to be laughed at, what it feels like to want to say something, you can't get the words out, what it feels like to have a child and see your child be bullied and be talked about and not be included in stuff. We know what that feels like. So there's nobody, your stories nobody want to hear your stories. I'm getting texts, emails, messages all over about Gerald's Hands and how they feel they, because I'm telling our stories. That's what it's about.
That's it. That's what it's about, So I haven't heard from my guy. That's my new guy. That's my guy down there, Mr. Boyd.
Marcus.
Marcus, you want to add anything to what she was saying about, this whole situation we have? Because this is a situation. You understand?
Well, I will say this to response to the incredible King Tech. First of all, that what you're teaching your son and your daughter is so imperative and it's so important and it's so life-changing, because of the different cultural backgrounds, that they'll be able to understand who they are as kings and queens, and and how this world is nothing but a chessboard, and they have to be able to move their king and their queen, not only just to take over pawns, but to be able to take over boards as well. You know what I'm saying? So I commend you, I commend you, legend, for what you're teaching your king and your queen.
Thank you, brother.
You know what I'm saying? And for me, what's crazy is my bully, his name is Jason, but we used to call him Bird when him and his gang used to take my $1.50 every single day, because I had a clear book bag. So every single day they used to take my $1.50 because I wanted the strawberry shortcake, the little thing. Because I didn't qualify for free lunch because my grandma got 24 kids, and then she had her 24 and my mom's 22 in a 1-bedroom shared bath in Brownsville. You know what I'm saying? So that's like 40 some kids. But make a long story short, my bully Jason ended up marrying my sister, Big Patty, because after she stuffed him in the locker and left him in there. I don't know if you ever been to a PS. I don't know if you ever been to a PS school. I don't know if you ever been to one because I used to go to Brownsville Middle School. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if you ever been to one. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, them things is like human size. You know what I'm saying? So when she stuffed them in the locker, you know what I'm saying? So they got 4 daughters together right now. Like literally, she literally married my bully. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't that so?
Wow.
But I mean, she wears the pants in the relationship.
No doubt.
Of course.
No
She's
doubt.
like 6'9". She's like 6'9". He's like 5'7".
That's a grown woman right there.
Okay, that's a whole one. Whole one. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's not funny that he's getting bullied in his marriage because bullying of any sort is wrong.
It's wrong.
But in the same token, for years I was laughing. I was because he was my bully. So, it's karma type of situation.
Yeah.
But again, what we have to understand is it's not just autism. It's not just special needs. It's everybody, period. They don't deserve to be picked on. They don't deserve to be talked about. They don't deserve to be laughed at because they don't got the latest Jordans or because they don't have the latest clothes or they have to shop at Goodwill or whatever or the thrift store. I mean, we were so poor that when my brother finished his jeans and it had some holes in them, I thought they was new. That's how poor we were. I didn't even know what Jordans was until I was 21.
Listen,
I couldn't afford Jordans.
Listen, you talking you testifying right now.
My grandma used to stay in the welfare line. She used to get the off-brand cornflakes, the big old like
the black and white
bologna,
the big old
can, like the government cheese.
Yes.
Yes. Let me tell you something. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Hold on. If I could find that damn cheese, now it makes the best grilled cheese you ever had.
Like it's true.
Ever. Oh my goodness. Don't make it like that no more. No way.
They don't.
Our stories are so compelling and so familiar.
Yes.
You understand? Like we was poor too. We used to live on Lexington Avenue between Troop and Tompkins. And that's in Brooklyn. And one time, no lie, and I'm telling y'all the truth, we didn't have lights for like 3 months. So the only relief we had was to go to school and eat their lunch. When we came home, we washed up, we did our homework in the light that was gleaming in the house, because by 5 o'clock,
that's it.
By 5 o'clock back then, the lights is starting to go out. So we stayed outside all day until then, and then we sat in candlelight for the rest of the night. And this happened for at least 2 months straight. You understand? And I didn't know the Flintstones until I was like 8, because we didn't have a TV. You understand? We didn't have a TV. We had none of that. And my father got hurt, so he couldn't work. So it was a real struggle. So when he said about the government cheese and the free lunch and that hit home, because it's like we went through hell. Like, oh my goodness. So, me growing up now, I refuse to let my kids stop. I refuse to let my wife go through certain things. You know what I'm saying? So, God bless me to be able to do certain things. Like she said, we all have special abilities.
Yes. And I feel when you go through those times, you react so much to it because, as an adult, because I grew up I went so many days without food. Sometimes I have so much food until it's a waste. And my family's like, why are you stuffing the cabinet? We can't get anything else in there. Stop. I'll have to
Yes,
refuse
sir.
so much food until it's a waste because I'm always afraid that I'm not going to have enough.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy, yo. So,
Mhm.
Tech, you want to chirp in?
I mean, you guys really said everything I could say. I want to clarify kind of how I came in, why I said those things. Why I'm dividing bullying versus,
Yeah.
violence is because my kids are this. There's a crazy echo right now. Do you guys hear an echo?
I do.
No. A little one, yeah.
Okay, so basically it is tasks. Too big of a task can be overwhelming for people. So
Yes.
including myself. So I like to divide things up into, I guess, compartmentalize or smaller portions, so it's easier to understand. You can accomplish this one task at a time and gradually get a bigger task done. And why I'm dividing those is if I'm telling my son how to deal with a bully, but the bully is a normal bullying, making fun of, belittling, but then on the way home trips him, physically pushes him, punches him in the stomach. That's a huge task to my son or my daughter.
Yeah.
If I say separating those two, no matter what they say to you verbally, if you come back with, they call you ugly and you say, I know, I wish I had as good a looks of you, and complimenting them back, right?
Yeah.
And you're reversing it back to them. Whatever they say, I hate you. That's too bad because I will always love you. It gets boring for them, okay? But now that's something you can grasp in a child's mind. They know how to accomplish that. They can tackle that. Now, when the physical comes in, that's where you can separate it. There's laws for that. That is, there's laws. Now you could say, let's work on the dominance behavior and you react. No matter what they say, you react this way. Lay hands on you, we escalate it and we solve it this route. That is a crime. You don't physically touch anybody of my friends, family, ever. So when I divided those things and let them, I guess, so they understood it more, now they could tackle it. Now they felt self-empowered and self-esteem because they knew, well, I know they can't touch me. If they touch me, there is a consequence to that. Now, what if they verbally insult me and I smile back at them and say, love you back? Eventually, they're going to be so over it. It's not fun. The friends aren't laughing anymore. Now the friends are laughing at them because you're witty back. And that created this self-esteem in my children. So this is why I grew up in a way that it's an eye for an eye. You make fun of me. Somebody trips me, I'm going to trip you and some. All I did was fight my whole life. I have scars, broken bones, missing teeth, stabbed. I've been shot. Everything you can think of, I've experienced it. And it was because I wanted to fight for my rights, fight for you respect me, fight. And violence was never the answer. It never solved anything. So in the beginning, I tried to train my sons in martial arts. I have martial arts. I'm going to teach you how to defend yourself. All that does is escalate the problem, though. It is, I know, telling never did a thing. All it did was make it worse. Because as soon as you left that situation, now you're a narc, a rat, then they beat on you. I will teach my kids to defend themselves, but that's not the answer. So I couldn't tell them to react with anger or violence because you'll never change the bully's behavior, ever. So the only way is to outwit them and win the game that they're playing. Don't be the loser in this. Control your cool, have mental strength, be resilient, learn to grow thick skin and smile in adversity and tell them, I wish I was as good as you. I know I'm working on it, man. I wish I was as good looking as you and as smart as you. And I wish I could do all the things you could do. Reversing that back on them. That's where I did see a change. I found it in myself. I became such a smart ass that now I'm gaining a lot of friends because I was witty back, and so it changed the roles where no matter how many weights I lifted and how many fights I got in, I still had that bully. But if I flip the script and I made that bully laugh, a year later, me and that bully are friends now because I make him laugh.
Oh yeah.
So it is.
Oh yeah.
That approach worked better than any type of violence or revenge. So that's why I was trying to say I like to divide those two, because it's too big of a task. You can, the dominance behavior, approach that with this approach. Physical behavior, there's laws for that, and we take those necessary steps, and then you can accomplish those things easier. It's easier to understand, you know. And I think that's an easier way to say this is how we're going to stop bullying in the world, because you're not going to change the behavior no matter PSAs or no matter what. That bully's going to be a bully because for some reason most times are being bullied at home by their own father, and now they want power. They want their own set of power, and the only power they can get is to crap on somebody else. You know, so you could be teaching the bullying back.
I totally agree with what you're saying. I think that if you have that personality, like my sister, we're a year and 4 months apart, and she's very witty. And we grew up in the same neighborhood, and she knew how to clap back. But if you have a person who's autistic, they might not know how to be sarcastic and know how to clap back that way. Because my sister was like that. You know, she'll snap you, and people like that, and they didn't really mess with her as much as they mess with me. I didn't know. I wasn't that like quick like that to clap back. And I was more of just a peaceful person. I didn't like, you know, confrontation and things like that. And what I find too is the physical is horrible. It's abuse. It's terrible. But the verbal and the mental, that's the stuff as an adult now in my age, mid-40s. When I was a kid, I fought almost every day. I got beat. I beat. I'm talking about beat. I'm talking about beat. I'm talking about bitten, belt buckles. I'm talking about beat. Okay. And what I remember is, I remember at the time, yes, it hurt. But what I remember now is the things that was said to me. Those things don't leave you. That verbal abuse, people calling you names, laughing at you, saying things. You're going to remember, you know, when it happened. But eventually, I feel like that physical pain, it will leave you. But that mental pain, that verbal abuse, the things that people say, that really traumatizes people. And it carries with you throughout. I had to really unlearn a lot of things, and I'm still working on me because it was so traumatizing. The verbal abuse, like I said, you know, being called names, and the emotional abuse, and living in fear, being afraid all the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And and I'm sorry to cut you off. Just what you're saying though is like that physical does, you heal from that, and that's temporary. The deeper emotional damage, I mean, I had to do studies on this as well. So they didn't even start studying bullying until the early 80s. And that was because 3 students in Norway committed suicide. And each one of those students wrote a letter. That's when they opened up studying the results of bullying. Since that, they did a 30-year study tracking over 10,000 children that were being bullied till their adult ages. 95% of them that were bullied and the emotional damage suffer from, the anxiety, extreme anxiety, social anxiety situations, can't handle that, depression, loss of appetite, can't sleep. There's so many results that come from that emotional, that stick with you long term, I definitely agree with that. That emotional is more damaging.
Sure. I agree with that too. I totally agree with that. For me, it was almost like, like Bert and his crew was like, one of his crew members was his sister. So they was getting, like King Tech said, they was getting beat at home. So they had to find their power. So me and some other kids was their power. You understand what I'm saying? But, for me, did I ever think that I'll be going to family reunions and seeing him? No. Did I ever think, that he will be my brother-in-law? No.
Wow.
So that's a whole different pill you have to swallow. But I mean, and for me, it's like I was nonverbal. I have autism. So I couldn't clap back or whatever, or roast
Yep.
or Joan on him or
Yep.
whatever. I just had to take it and take the abuse
Yep.
verbally that they was getting. But I had something that a lot of families have. I like to call her my police siren. That's why I like to call her.
Okay.
I have a little sister, right? You know, every time you do something, she be like, "Ooh, I'm telling." Right. Yeah, I got one of those. I got one. So every time Bird in his game said something to me, she went to go tell Big Patty. It was like, ooh, they picking on Marcus. Ooh. And again, she's 6'9". Okay. So listen, ain't nobody gonna listen. They're not expecting that to come out the house.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Like if they were gonna say something to her, they ain't gonna say it to her face.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true. That's 100% right. So this is crazy because it's like I'm happy to have you guys here because this is a hell of a conversation. And for the people that's listening and watching, this actually will be on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, and if I'm not mistaken, Spotify. Yeah, Spotify, Apple, and iHeartRadio. This actual conversation will be live for everybody, most likely tomorrow night. And I want people to really take heed to this conversation because a lot of things that we said tonight, people really should listen because they've been through a lot. People are going through this every day still after all these years, and if they could get something out of this, especially what Mr. Boyd said, I'm sorry, that right there, that just hit me really hard. So, Tech, I appreciate you, man. You like I said,
man.
Tech, if y'all don't know, he's done things for me. Like I've always said this. Every live I get on with him every time I see him and talk to him, I tell him I appreciate him because he's done more for me in the couple of months that I've known him than anybody that I've known in the last 10 years.
Wow.
Besides my family.
Thank you, brother.
And
that's how it should be. If I call you Fam Bam is family to me. That's family. Family is everything. I will walk to the end of the earth on broken glass, anything within my power, because that's all we have is each other. So it is. I will support everything you do, brother.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. Now this doggone Naz Pannkey, let me tell you something, woman. You done got me all emotional on the show, and I'm not understanding like the last time, and now this time, Mr. Boyd came here and got me all emotional. So it's like, but I appreciate everything. I truly do. But Mr. Boyd, music producer, correct?
Yes, sir. I would like to call myself a discovery because this music was all I had. I mean, I went to band camp before band camp was popular. We went to the church.
Oh, wow.
We went to the church because you from Brooklyn, so you already know. I came up under not the new generation, but the old generation of the Winans, Vicky and all them, Marvin and all them. Yeah. We went to the same church. That was my grandma's best friend. We went to the same church. So I come from old Oregon, not the electrical Oregon and stuff like that. I come from, you got to dust it off first and blow it.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It is. I went to Mount Olive Baptist Church in Brownsville. Okay. So
I know where you went.
Yeah, exactly. So that was one of the churches that my family actually had. My mother and father actually got married there. Wow. They was the first marriage in that church.
Oh, wow.
And that church has been, it's been over 70 years. That church is still there.
Wow.
And it is.
So, you see, exactly, still there. So that Brooklyn is definitely in me. I'm in Orlando now, but Brooklyn has definitely been in me for life. That I will never forget that. Brooklyn is, it's instilled in me.
I wish I could say I was born in Brooklyn, but I was born in Atlanta. Raised between Atlanta and Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
I was just not born in Grady. I was just not born in Grady. So when you pass Grady on 285, I was just not.
Ooh, my son went to Grady.
Praise God for your son. Praise God. Let's praise God for your son.
Let me
I
tell
was
you,
born
all
in
jokes
Crawford
aside,
Long. They call it
okay.
Piedmont now, but I was born in Crawford Long.
Oh, okay. My son graduated from Grady, and crazy part is that Grady is one of the best schools in Brooklyn right now.
It is. It is.
It literally is. It really changed. They changed the culture. You understand? He graduated, and my daughter went to James Madison. So
listen, you got some. Your kids are. You got survival. Your kids are survivalists. They survive.
yes,
Yes.
I'm telling you, those are some crazy schools back in the days. They really was.
Right.
But I'm gonna definitely have you guys come back. I have to. We could talk about this, but
And
Nas,
speaking of hip hop, I'm gonna end it with this.
okay.
I was
Go ahead.
I was in Bed-Stuy. I was near the bodega and in Fulton and stuff like that. And Easy Mo B and Biggie I saw Biggie with Easy Mo B. They came out the Jeep. They came out the
No
bodega.
doubt.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No doubt.
So I'm 10. I'm 10 years old. My best friend Tony Rodriguez, he's 11. Okay, I'm nonverbal. Okay, but Tony is trying to like write sentences for me and make the poems to be mine. So he'll put my name on the poem, but he wrote it.
Right.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So he had a poem in his book bag. He was like, look at this. You know what I'm saying? Like Marcus writes. He writes. So Biggie comes out with a wad of money, give me, Tony, Duckman, and another one of my guys $100 a piece. Okay, back in 92. Okay,
Wow.
to me that was whole candy money. Tony was
No
like,
doubt.
yeah. Tony was like, Marcus is up next. He's up next. Mind you, I'm nonverbal. I don't know my A to my Z. Okay?
Oh my
Hooked on
goodness.
phonics didn't work for me. Muzzy didn't work. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know A to Z. So Biggie got back in the Jeep. You know what I'm saying? He was like, listen, you want to rhyme? You want to do this? Get educated. Get educated.
Wow.
You want to do this?
Yeah.
Get educated.
Wow.
Because he was like, listen, you can't be a dumb rapper in these streets. So get educated.
Damn.
And because of that, it took me 5 years and 9 sisters. But that's why I got a bachelor's degree in journalism and mass communications.
Wow.
And so after that in Bed-Stuy, Tony used to scream out, yeah, this little Biggie. Because they claim I look like him. Like, but he became my musical father.
You know what? Marcus, you gotta let them. They think you are like you gotta hear him rap. They gotta hear it. I'm so Jesus. Like you gotta hear him rap.
You got bars,
you
bro?
have to hear.
I gotta hear it now. Now I gotta hear it.
You gotta hear him. Like it's
you want to freestyle or 16?
It's bananas.
Whatever you like.
Marcus, let them hear it because they think it's a joke. It's bananas.
Go for it, bro.
Okay.
Go for it.
I like I'm so Jesus. I like that.
For where I'm sitting, things are different. I ain't feeling the same. My brother's missing because I'm guessing I'm just losing the game. Providing I'm lame. Angry, never shooting up blame. Knowing that she'll be loving God, but still rebuking the same. Bruising my brain, don't care about move for fame. I rise to the top like humans doing this food in the chain. Using my name, I fight to resist. This life is a miss. I think where would I be without a mic in my fist? Cypher's a bliss. With his verse, a list of emotional illustrated. Give a line of new twist. I'm climbing a cliff. I fight to exist. Lord, can I get a witness? Because the struggle seems endless. It starts with repentance. Let me cradle in your arms like an infant. Your eyes are menacing. Never mind my sins are hindrance. Without you, I'm negligent. So what would I do? Because of you. That was 16. Yeah.
Woo! Let's go. Yeah.
He has some great music out there. He makes some amazing music. Like I said, he blessed.
I don't know why she's hyping it up like that. I don't even know why she's hyping it up right now. Listen. She's like the female Flavor Flav. She's like the female Flavor Flav.
Yes.
Let me tell you. That was fire. I'm not even gonna lie. Me and King Tech is hip hop heads. All right, me and King Tech is hip hop heads. You had some bars going in that. So yo, I salute you on that, bro, for real. You know what I'm saying? So that was dope. I'm sitting here like, oh shit. You should have seen my if you see the replay of this, you're gonna see my face like, the fuck?
But you know, I have autism, so they're not used to lyrical autistic rappers. It's time to change the narrative. It's time to change the narrative. We here.
100%.
We here.
There was nothing autistic about what you just said,
Not
brother. Trust
at
me.
all. Not at all.
It was nothing. I'm sitting there like, oh damn, all right.
To go from a non-verbal autistic to a 6-time award-winning music producer. Come on,
man. This is
come on.
You can't. You know you got to have him on your show.
And he's made music
100%.
He's made music for big artists out there too. You know.
No, we definitely. It's just you're a huge.
It's amazing.
Even more so inspiration. I was not aware of all of those details about you, man, and to know that
I wanted to surprise you
is shocking. It is like to connect the nonverbal autistic part really hits home. To see where you are now gives me hope, gives me extra hope because wow, you couldn't have turned out better. And you're right. The ultimate get back is having him spend your money. The only money.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Because he won't spend it.
Yes.
Matter of fact, you know what? That deserves a lot of applause as well.
Well, listen, I do this again. I do this because it's not for me. I do this for the millions of untold stories that's out there. That's why I've talked to these governors and mayors and senators and Democrats. I fight for laws and rights and benefits, not just for therapy, not just for families who sacrifice all their income so they can put their kids in therapy. We have to create new programs that will be beneficial towards the individual and the families of autistic people. And because I refuse to keep having autism celebrated in April, mental health celebrated in May. We have to celebrate this 365, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Yeah. And it's not just because, oh well, we trying to be fitted into a puzzle piece, a blue heart, or whatever you like to do. Cool. Those are your examples. I rock with all of them. You understand what I'm saying?
No doubt.
But at the end of the day, we are people, we are geniuses, we are creators. We can do any and everything we put our mind to. It takes God in the village. It takes God in the village. And what King Teddy is doing for his kids, he's their village. He's their voice. What Naz is doing for her son, she's his village. She's his voice. What Derek is doing for his kids. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's why I was really honored when I got the Lifetime Presidential Achievement Award from Joe Biden. I am the first person with autism to ever get it.
Yeah. We're going to give him another one. At
the end of the day, we got to create our own history. Don't just scream, I love someone with autism. Because they got to love themselves first. King Tech said it's self first. It's self first. They got to love themselves first. So we got to teach them that it's beyond just a diagnosis or disability or a title. But embark into your greatness. Reach beyond your infinity. Because you can do anything. I'm no different from nobody else. My testimony is no different from nobody else. I'm not greater. I'm not a big head. I'm nothing. No more than anybody else. I'm a humble fat guy. But at the end of the day, if there's anything with autism, I'm gonna be in the gap for it.
Yes.
No doubt.
Yes.
No doubt.
Yep.
You know, I'm gonna tell you something, and I don't say this often. You know, that's God right there, bro. You understand? God is put his hand on this young man. And I'm gonna be straight up. Because for what you went through, for what you've been through and what you endured and what you accomplishing right now and to continue to accomplish, that's God, bro. You know, he definitely put his hand on you. And I appreciate you coming to my show. I'm gonna definitely have you come back for some of your music because this is 2111 Radio.
Please let him come back.
Yeah.
Music.
This is 2111 Radio.
I gotta have you on my show as well. I gotta have you on my show for sure.
I'm gonna give you his information, no doubt.
You will not.
I can see Demo, most of them go crazy. You already know.
Oh yeah, they're gonna love.
They're gonna go crazy on your show. Yep. You know, but if you have any music that you want to put out on the radio, send it to me. MP3, album cover, artist name. Send it to me. I put it on the radio.
Well, actually, I got a new single. I just started the paperwork for a physical and online distribution with Universal In Groove. It's the first ever record label. It's AMG. It's Autism Music Group. Period.
What?
Period.
Whoa,
It's Autism
what?
Music Group. We here. You know what I'm saying? So
Let's
this
go.
is it.
Yeah.
Tired of talented autistic people not getting the proper representation. So who else to do it? Who else to represent them but me?
Great
else?
That's
idea.
right.
Great
Who else?
idea.
That's
Yeah.
dope. That is
So
dope.
AMG Autism Music Group, we here. Universal In Groove, we on the way. New single, Create Your Own. Yes, I'm a gospel rapper. I put God first in everything I do. And I got 84,213 copyrighted, trademark, sample clear beats.
Ooh.
Let me know what genre you want. I'll send you 15 of them tomorrow. like it's not a game.
Wow.
Yo,
Wow.
let me tell you something, Naz Pannkey. You see what you done did?
I'm
You
telling
see
you,
what you
I'm so
Wow.
proud.
Listen,
I'm
let me tell you. So the night me and her had that conversation, she told me about you.
Wow.
She said, I'm gonna have Marcus come up here. You understand? And the funny part is when she said your name, she gave me the full name and I looked online. And I said, well, okay. This is a heavy hitter right here. This guy's doing more than just he's an autism activist, but he's doing a lot more than just that. He has a lot going on. And I didn't tell King Tech about you. I wanted him to see you for himself and hear you for himself. Because
Well,
I
I didn't get to tell, Naz's family, her incredible business partner, her son, all of them, they family. And like King Tech said, I don't use the word loosely. So
no doubt.
we're going to make this official announcement right now. Next Wednesday at 11 o'clock will be the first time ever where you're going to see an autism activist on national news. Fox News is going to be interviewing me live via video. We finally here. You understand what I'm saying? Now this is exclusive. And I'm going to talk about Gerald's hands on Fox News. You see?
You know that's right.
At the end of the day, we got to take care of each other. And again, it's not about me. It's not about Marcus. No. It's about opening up this door so King Tech's son and daughter don't have to work as hard. Somebody else's son and daughter don't have to work as hard.
Yep.
That's right. What this is about.
Yep.
Ooh. Boy, you done said a mouthful. You don't want a fan. I'm sitting here as a fan.
I got goosebumps.
Yo, he really he's killing this right now. Like, we've been on for an hour. Do it seem that long? An hour and 12 minutes.
Not at all, man. No,
flew
by.
It literally flew by. So what I'm doing right now tonight, I'm be editing this. What you just said, I'm editing this because when you took over and started talking, it felt like a rally. You had us in here going, brother. You know what I'm saying? All the information you gave us, all the things that you accomplished and starting and actually continue to do, it felt like a rally. And
he felt it.
A rally
He felt it too. That's why he said, "We here."
That's
right.
Here,
exactly.
I mean, with AMG, I mean, we always talk about autism and stuff of that nature, but there's many talented artists that have autism, and they don't get the proper representation because nobody want to represent them because they have autism. They might have emotional behavior. They might have a reaction. They might not be able to understand the sensory issues that individual have. So who not but me? Because I understand it in all forms.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. I love it.
Wow.
Yes.
This is a beautiful thing. This show actually came out better than I expected. I'm not even gonna lie. It actually has. It really has. And I appreciate every single person.
Well, I thank you, Mr. Derek, for letting me be on your amazing platform. Thank you, King Tech. Again, you interview legends, you know what I'm saying? So, I consider you a legend, sir. You understand what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I consider my family Naz. You already know. Your name is N-A-Z. Regardless, some Z's are pronounced with an S. So your Naz is in Queens. Your Naz is in Bronx, and his Naz is in Queens. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just a 45-minute train ride away. So again, your kingdom is the same way as his kingdom. That's why you named Naz. So I appreciate you allowing me to be on this platform.
Awesome.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, King Tech, and of course, Scott, and Marcus, boys. You know we are family. You know we are here. It is about time. We are here, and
Yeah.
what we're doing is, again, we're making things better for this generation and the next. Right?
Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Marcus said, like you said, Derek, like you said, King Tech, the future, the next generation, they don't have to go through what we went through. Let's make it
No.
better. That's what it's all about, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm
Let's
so
make it
happy,
better. So
so proud
listen.
to
Now
be.
let me tell y'all something. Now, so it's literally 165 people in here, like right now, and they from different countries.
Awesome.
So we definitely got some people up in here. Aquarius Waters is up in here. Tiffany, your girl Tiffany, she's up here. My girl
Hey,
AJ, she's up in here. It's a lot of people in here. Lakeisha, Lyric. So we definitely had some people in this crowd, and we touched a lot of hearts today. We really did, and I appreciate you guys coming and supporting and telling y'all stories and y'all testimonies. I really do, and I thank everybody for showing up in the lives on Instagram, not Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I appreciate everybody, but I'ma definitely have to go because we definitely went way over,
Yeah.
and I couldn't believe it was an hour already. I was 16
Right.
minutes right now. It's just crazy.
Wow.
I can't believe it. But Lakeisha just told me to tell you got bars, Marcus.
yes,
You got bars. You definitely got bars.
Absolutely.
We definitely gonna be talking to you about something because again, I'm into music and I got the radio station, so I'm gonna definitely put something on my platform for you, so get some spins at least. You know what I'm saying? So again, thank you for coming. Thank God for everybody that showed up today. You understand? And I'm gonna bid you guys a good night, and I'll be back tomorrow actually with Stevie Baggs. I don't know if y'all know who that is. He's an
Shout
actor
out to
from the
Stephen
show.
Baggs. I interviewed him in Atlanta many years
See?
ago. His work
Oh,
with mental health is incredible.
uh-huh.
So shout out to Stephen Baggs, period. His
Yeah,
foundation is incredible.
crazy.
So
It is. It is. So I'm gonna definitely have that
yes,
conversation with them. So,
wonderful.
listen, guys, good night, and
Night.
yeah, we out.
Thank you,
Stay
guys.
back.
Thank
Don't go
you.
nowhere.
Good night.
All four of y'all stay here for a second. Don't go nowhere, y'all, because I want to talk to y'all after the show.
Okay.
So we're gonna definitely chop it up. So good night.